I'm actually a
Mm.
therapist. What I was going to say to you is I go on here and I let people ask me one question about psychology or psychotherapy, and I'll
I,
answer
s-
it as long as I have permission to record it to use for social media.
I actually study psychology, but I'm in sales.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
I
well, go
do.
for it. Anything you want to ask me?
Do you believe nature or nurture?
Both. I mean, we're pretty sure that for most things that like they influence each other. I mean, for
Hmm.
example, there could be parts of your nature, your personality that are set, that you have a
Hmm.
disposition you come out with. You might be
Hmm.
someone who takes a lot of risks. Some people
Hmm.
are risk averse, some people like risks. Depending on the environment you grow up in, you could end up
Hmm.
a criminal or you could end up a police officer. You can use that risk taking in different ways because of that.
100%. But I believe you talk about the personality traits. I believe somebody could. Have you heard of the personality test and the personality types like ENTJ or whatever? I believe that's their starting point. I truly believe somebody could adapt to any sort of personality type if they really put their all into it. You get what I mean?
Yes. So
Like,
what you mean is that someone can learn to be more extroverted, even if they're naturally introverted, for example.
yes, I believe a lazy person could become ambitious. I believe an extrovert can be an introvert. Yes,
Yeah, you're
truly.
not wrong that environment and with the right motivation, you could really help someone
Yeah, yeah,
nurture parts of themselves. I
yeah.
think
Mhm,
we have some natural dispositions. Some people are. Let me be clear: we have natural dispositions, but there are parts of us that change over time. I am not
mhm.
the same person I was when I was, 20 years old. Now I'm 51.
Exactly. Wow, you look young, man. But
Thanks.
yes, yes. I feel I find it arrogant when people say I don't believe in change. I think that's low. There's some things that are embedded in you for sure. There's some things that are embedded with you. Like let's say that ambitious person, if they have no structure and no sort of want to be better, they will go back to them lazy themselves. Same with the extrovert, same with the introvert. So
That's right.
I believe I believe you could create your own reality, and I believe that life is a blessing, man. Yeah,
I believe you're right. I mean,
yeah.
I'll say I didn't know if you're about to click next.
No, 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 no.
Uh, I was going to say that I wouldn't be a therapist if I didn't believe that people could change.
Yeah,
If you
that's
wanted,
true. That is true. That is
you're
very true.
motivated to do the work, you can change. You can change your life. You can change the way you see things. You can work on your perspective.
Hmm.
And you can
Hmm.
also accept that there might be parts of you, your shadow self, as we call them, that are always there. The sort of darker parts of us or the lazy parts of us, for example. You
Hmm.
accept that you have a part of you that's lazy, but you can work against it. And you can every
Hmm.
once in a while give in healthy ways when you need to be a little bit lazy. But you're absolutely
Hmm.
right that you can nurture the best parts of you and you can learn to be very driven and keep that shadow sort of ugly parts of self right here in the light. So we're not
Hmm.
afraid of it and we accept those parts of self and we work to do better.
We might. Can I ask you another question? This might be a little bit of a debate. Let's say.
That's okay.
I
What's
believe
your name, by the way?
that Scott. My name is Scott.
God, I'm set. Before we debate, I figure I should get
Yes.
your name.
My name is Scott. How you doing? I'm from New York.
Oh,
How you
nice.
doing?
I'm in LA. I'm New York,
Really?
based in
I
Miami,
want.
but I'm in LA.
Really? I want to move to LA. Actually, I
Nice.
do.
All right,
I
so
do.
Scott, go for it.
I truly believe if you have purpose, gratitude, and discipline,
Mm.
you will have a natural state of happiness. Of course, that could blender, but you won't have any sort of, let's just say, need to go to a therapist. That's my position.
Um, I think those are wonderful qualities to have. I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
everybody needs therapy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think therapy can be helpful. I don't think therapy should just be used for crisis. And I think
Mm-hmm.
if you're someone with purpose, gratitude, and discipline, there's parts of self that you can learn about. You can explore your early history. You can see where you get in your own way. And we all have tweaks and ways in which we can learn about ourselves and manage ourselves in ways that are better. I'm always looking to
Mm-hmm.
grow. I care a lot about being a better person. I care a lot about the way I move through the world. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so therapy is important to me, but I've used therapy and then my own therapy. I don't mean working as a
Yeah,
therapist, that there are
yeah,
points
yeah.
in my life when I'm in therapy and there are points in my life when I'm not in therapy. And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think therapy could always be useful, but that doesn't mean that at all times people should be in therapy. Their therapy is necessary for everybody. And I do agree that purpose, gratitude, and discipline are very good, important qualities. I believe in compassion, kindness, empathy. There's a lot of other
Yeah.
qualities that are also important. I think the idea of purpose and meaning, which was explored in Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. I don't know if
Hmm.
you ever read that book.
No, sir. I'm gonna educate myself. What is it?
Man's Search for Meaning.
Man searching.
Man's Search
Man.
for Meaning. So Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist, a Jewish psychiatrist who was in the Holocaust, and
Hmm.
uh, he explored the idea of how people survive the camps. Now, obviously, not
Hmm.
everyone had the ability to be able to survive the camps. They murdered many people, but the people who were able to emotionally get through it the best way were ones who kept purpose and meaning in their lives, who
Hmm.
the idea of always having some meaning in your life, even when you're inside of a place where you're inside essentially a death camp or a concentration camp of some kind. And so, meaning
Hmm.
is so important for all of us. We need meaning in order to be able to make sense of our lives and to feel good. It's important to have meaning. I have
Hmm.
clients I've seen who have sold companies and made a lot of money or retired early, and you would think they have everything that you're supposed to have to be happy, and ultimately
Hmm.
realize they're not. They're left with
Hmm.
themselves. They don't even know themselves well, and there's no meaning. They don't know what else to do.
Perfect. I have. I don't mean to. I have one question.
Go
We
for
talk about companies and we talk about they have all this money. If we lived in a world where status and money was not a thing,
it.
what would be the meaning of life? What would be the responsibilities of us humans to have a thriveful life? Because I feel like a lot of people nowadays, we're so heavy on status, we're so heavy on money, family. If we lived in a world with no status, no money, what would it be?
So, good question. So, I don't, as a therapist, have an idea of the way everyone should live their lives, meaning it's not up to me
Hmm.
to determine some idea of life that you should have. That
Hmm.
being said, I think you need to make sense of your own value system. I think it's important for you to figure out what that is. And I do have some idea of where I notice you might be getting in your own way, that where your values don't necessarily align with the way you're living, for example. Whatever those
Mm.
are, that's where people have conflicts. I have a certain
Hmm.
value system. I'm operating in a way that doesn't align with that, and I start to feel the guilt, which is a good tell.
Yeah.
So so I do think you need purpose and meaning in life, and I do think a value system is very important. But your personal meaning of your raison d'être, as they say in French, your reason for being, is individualistic, and you need
Hmm.
to figure out for you what your purpose is in this world. You know
Hmm.
what you get out of life, how you want to live in the world, and what's most important to you is for you to figure out, and then live according to that.
100%.
That's right. And so everyone has sort of different things that drive them. For me, it was really important to have a family. My kids are really important to me. I create a world in which I'm surrounded by the kind of people who I love and who love me back. A support system is really important to me.
Mm.
I really want to create a world in which I feel people are supportive and loving, even if the world overall doesn't feel that way at all times, especially
Mm.
divisive as it's been. I make sure in
Mm.
my own life to have that, and that really works for me. And then the other
Mm.
part of it is that I get to find meaning in my work. I love the work I do. And I
Mm.
used to be an actor and a writer. And while there were some parts of that that I enjoyed, I did not get the same amount of meaning that I do in the work I do now. And I just feel
Mm.
better. I really just
Mm.
enjoy what I do, even when it's
That's
hard. I
amazing.
love what I do, and it just feels amazing for me. So the
That's
selfish part of me feeling good drives me to keep doing more things that hopefully better the world.
amazing. That's good. That's amazing.
All
How,
right.
how long do you have? Because I keep getting new questions.
All right, what time is it? It's 12:35. I have to leave here by I have another 10 minutes and then I have to run out of here.
Okay,
It's great. I'm happy to
perfect.
talk to you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay.
Yes, this 2007.
So it's a new job you're in sales, like your first job.
Yes, yes, sir.
What are you doing? What's
Yes,
the
sir.
sales?
I'm a closer.
For what do you close?
Uh,
Always be
so
closing.
basically,
ABC. You ever see Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross?
no, I have
Big
not.
line ABC. Always be closing. All right. So
So, for me personally, I close. So I work for a company that we basically fund small business owners.
got it.
We basically fund them with money, and yeah,
Cool. All
pretty
right.
much.
So ask your question while you got me. I'm happy to help.
So you mentioned, why do people, two questions, two-parter, kind of separate. The first part is, why do people have strict values, but they tend to go against that? Could it be comfortability? Could it be not scared? Could it be comfortability? Not scared of taking the risk?
Mhm.
And number two, what is the biggest factor that you've seen throughout all men, especially successful men? What was the mental? Why did they need? What was their problem that could be fixed? If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Those are two separate questions, so I'll go
Yes.
into it.
Yes.
So the first one, the value system idea, which is
Mm,
why do we do things that go against maybe a strict value system or a value system we have? Some is we haven't yet. Some is the problem that most people haven't figured out what their own value system is. That we get all
mm,
these messages from our family, from our community, from our religion, from our society, from our smaller subgroups of what important values there are in that society, in that subgroup. And it may not
mm.
align with your own personal value system, and that you haven't yet figured out what that is as you get older. You're an 18-year-old man, you're just
Yes, sir.
discovering who you are, you're out in the world, you're meeting other people, and you are going to figure out that some things that you were raised with may not line up with some new values that become important to you. Your family might have a value system that you've always accepted as truth, and you might discover that, oh, there's some values that are different than that. Also, on the other side of that, you might have values that you do really think of as important, that you were raised with a certain value system that is important to you, a way that you treat people, a way that you treat people you date, and that you
Mhm,
may still be operating in selfish ways that go against that. It doesn't mean that the way you're operating is your new value system. It means that you are selfishly ignoring what's really important. And often
mhm,
it's good because often we have a gut instinct, a feeling that something's uncomfortable that doesn't make us feel good.
mhm,
That's a tell. And that tells
mhm,
something we can listen to and say, wait a second, I'm operating in a way. Right. I don't love the way I'm acting right now. I don't love the way I'm treating people. I don't love that interaction I just had with someone at work or with a friend, and that didn't feel good. And I have the
mhm,
opportunity now to either do something different, to
mhm,
repair it, or feel uncomfortable enough that I have the opportunity to repair it, or I have the opportunity to do nothing, which is my
mhm.
own ego gets in the way, which leads to your second question. Now, I don't know if you meant that in a gendered way, like men in particular versus women, but I think you did. You were asking about men, or did you mean humanity?
Oh,
You're saying,
the second question was specifically for me because I am a man,
yeah, yeah.
so it was specifically for men. Yes.
So I was saying this leads to your second question, which is with men in particular. Um, Now, while I want to say like upfront, like everyone's individualistic and all men and women aren't the same. That being said, there's an ego part of it that can be really difficult to overcome. And men, boys are raised before they're men to operate a certain way in the world, just as women are.
Mhm,
You'll see young girls who are often told that they look pretty and their looks are prized, and then they learn that that's really important. Even if it's
mhm,
not, that's what society feeds back to them. And with boys, you'll often see that they are limited by certain feelings because they are told to be strong, they're told to be stoic, not show a lot of emotion. And so that
mhm,
becomes important to you as a man. You internalize that as really important values because you were
mhm,
taught that society values these things. And then it limits the amount of feelings you even have. You're left with stoicism and anger, which you'll often see in men. Those are the two things that you know how to do well. And
mhm,
that's a problem. That's a pretty limited set of feelings, and you don't learn
mhm,
to engage in it. And so, men, for example, when you do something that goes against a value system where you feel like I don't love the way I behaved just now, but it's too difficult for me to go to someone and say, hey, I don't love the way I acted in that interaction we just had. I think I was being
mhm,
petty, or I think I was being cocky, and I don't love the way I spoke to you, and I really want to apologize for that and do better. It's a very
mhm,
difficult thing for men to do. It's a difficult thing for humans to do. But when you're asking about men in particular, it's very difficult to be able to do that, especially when you were raised in an environment where you were told it's better to be strong. It's better to always double down, even if you're wrong. When you get
mm,
messages in the outside world, when you see a president of the United States who does that, you're like, I guess
mm,
that's the way I'm supposed to behave. This is the way men are supposed to behave. And so you have to do the work, hopefully with therapy or in any way that you can start doing the work and challenging yourself to behave differently, to
mm,
realize that it's actually stronger to do that thing. People view it as strong to say nothing, to never go up to someone and say, hey, I'm really sorry for the way I acted. I don't love that and I want to do differently. That's a very difficult thing to do. What's interesting is men think it's stronger to be stoic and do nothing. And I'm like,
mm,
really? You're too scared to do the other thing.
mm,
You're too weak to
mm,
do the other thing. You're not strong.
mm.
Strength comes from being able to go over to someone and say, I'm really sorry. I don't love the way I behaved and I want to work on that. That's strength.
Yeah, yeah. I think owning up to your mistakes is strong, but sometimes I do believe if you allow your emotions to go out, at the end of it, you're looked as unreliable or not the person to go to. Even though you could be a qualified leader, if you let some sort of emotion out, he's not the one to go to. Next man or next person. That makes sense.
Be very careful with that messaging. Be very
Mm,
careful with the kind of culture that's teaching you that men are supposed to behave a certain way. Especially, I'm sure you're seeing a lot of macho stuff in the sales world and how to be successful and hustle culture. And you're 18 years old, and I'm sure your social media feed is just flooded with that kind of messaging. It's
mm,
not true.
mm,
Model the best of what a human should be. I assure you that you will be a wonderful model for other people, that they learn that there's a safe space where they can make mistakes. You want to live
mm,
in a world where you can make mistakes and know that you will be you want to live in a world where you can make mistakes and understand that people will forgive you, that it's
mm,
okay, that what's important is doing the work. What's important is when there is a rupture, having a repair. If you
mm,
show people that you're unable to do that because you're strong, well, now you're going to be surrounded by the kind of people who do the same. They act accordingly.
mm.
Model the kind of world you want to live in.
100%.
And
That makes sense.
the people you work with in sales as well. Like when you own up a mistake, anything, I have solar panels being installed in my house.
Mm,
They came 2 days ago to install these solar panels. They realized they
mm,
made a mistake.
mm.
The sales guy didn't blame me. He didn't start saying that I did things wrong. He said, I
No,
made a mistake and I need to
yeah,
fix that mistake. It's the
yeah,
greatest thing people can do.
yeah.
I, s-
100%.
me,
No,
I am not perfect. With my kids, when I make a mistake, I don't say like I'm the dad and you need to listen to me and
mm,
dad, right? Whatever I say goes. I don't want to
mm,
send that message. There's times I need to be strong or hold boundaries, but when I screw up, when I act in a way that I feel like wasn't the best way to manage it, I say, "Hey guys, I really
yeah,
screwed up and I'm sorry."
yeah. Extreme ownership.
Love the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
I
yeah.
behaved.
100%.
And that modeling, they get to learn that that's okay.
Mm, mm.
I have to go, Scott.
Okay, thank you.